Alright guys, so we're going to learn how to graph these with and without the calculators. Hopefully you remember how to do it with the calculator. So standard form, well this book calls it standard form, but what you probably may have learned it previously as is vertex form. Okay, so see how it's a times x minus h squared plus k? The vertex is h comma k. Well, they want you to write the equation in standard form, which means, see how you have this being squared? It means you need to complete the square. So, again, we go over completing the square again. So you set 0, and then remember you add b divided by 2 squared to both sides. Okay? So you get 1 equals x squared plus 2x plus 1. But then remember, this factors into x plus b divided by 2 squared. Okay? So then subtract this 1 back over, and you get y equals x plus 1 squared, not plus, minus 1. So the vertex is negative 1, 1. Tricky part here. See how this is minus h? And it's a plus here, that means it's a negative. The h is always the opposite, the k is what it is, okay? Oh, so it should be negative 1, negative 1. My fault. Alright, let's keep going. So here, what we got to do, this is going to be a little bit trickier, but what we got to do is 0 equals 2x squared plus 6x plus 2. Subtract the 2 over. Now you can't divide, you just have to factor out the 2. You cannot divide, it won't be the same graph if you divide. But you have to factor out the 2. Okay? And then you have to save room to add something. And remember what we're doing is b divided by 2 squared. So, and I might need some more room here. So you have b divided by 2 squared. But, see how we factor out a 2? So you have to include that as well. Okay? So then this changes to 2x plus 3 divided by 2 squared. And then this is going to be negative 2 plus 9 over 2. Okay? So this side stays the same still. This is going to be 5 halves. Subtract it back over, you're going to get y equals 2 times x plus 3 divided by 2 squared minus 5 halves. So the vertex is negative 3 over 2, negative 5 over 2. Okay? So see, this is asking you to do what we've been doing again. So again, we got to find the vertex. So we set it equal to 0. Add the 9 over, so you get 9 equals, factor out the 3. So now you have 9 equals 3, and then this is going to be x squared minus x plus negative 1 divided by 2 squared. And then you have plus 3 times negative 1 divided by 2 squared. So now we have 9 plus 3/4, because 1/2, negative 1/2 squared is 1/4, times 3 is 3/4. And this is going to be 3x squared minus 1 divided by 2 squared. So add the 9 and the 3/4 together. So you get 39 over 4 equals this. Subtract it over, so you get y equals 3 times x minus 1/2 squared minus 39 over 4. So the vertex is 1/2, comma, 39 over 4. So there's being able to find the vertex with standard form. Now we're going to be able to graph these and try to help use them. Okay? So let's keep going. And don't forget this vertex is negative 39 over 4. That's my fault. Okay? Let's keep going. Alright, so another way to find the parabola, or the vertex of the parabola, is you can use the formula for the x-coordinate. X-coordinate equals negative b divided by 2a. So what you would do here is you would say x equals negative b divided by 2 times a. Oop. Which is 3 over 6, which is 1/2, which is what we got when we did it the other way. And then what you do to get the y-coordinate is take this 1/2, plug it in for x. So you get that. This would be 3/4 minus 3/2 minus 9. And so now, if you do that, you're going to get negative 39 over 4, which is what we got. So the vertex is still 1/2 negative 39 over 4. That's just another way of finding it, okay? So it says, determine the direction of the opening of the parabola. So that means look at A. What does A equal? There's all these words here, but here A is, so A equals positive 3. So it's positive. So that means it opens up. In example 6, A is negative 1. So A is negative. That means it opens down. Okay, so now you want to sketch a graph of this. Okay, so, well, A is 1, so it's positive, so it's going to open up. So if we just find the vertex here, the vertex equals negative b divided by 2 times a, so it's 0. Plug in 0, you get y equals 0 squared minus 9. You get negative 9. So we know our vertex is 0, negative 9. And we know it opens up. And this one shouldn't be hard to get other 2 points to. Set it equal to 0, solve. So you get x equals plus or minus 3. Okay? So if we go to look at our graph, we have the point 0, negative 9. And then we have negative 3, 0, and 3, 0. So then our graph would look like this. You can also plug this in your calculator and help you find these things. Now, on tests, you'll need to show work to at least get the vertex, but you can help the calculator find you the zeros and things. But use the calculator to make sure you're doing it right, okay? Alright, so it says sketch the parabola, identify the vertex, and any x-intercepts. Okay, so that's basically what we just did. Those 2 zeros were the x-intercepts. So here we know that A is negative, so it's going to open down. Okay? So now, let's do some work. Okay? So, find the vertex, x equals negative b divided by 2 times a. So that's negative 2 over negative 2, which is 1. Plug it in. Okay, I want to stop for a second, point something out. See how this is negative x squared? Well, see how I have the negative outside of what's being squared? That's what you need to do. That's a common mistake made, okay? So this is going to be negative 1 plus 2 plus 8. So it's going to be 9. So our vertex now is 1 comma 9. And then the zeros, you could either use your calculator to get them, or you can factor. So I'm going to do this. So I'm going to say x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. So I divided everything by negative 1. And then this is going to be x minus 4, x plus 2. So x equals 4, x equals negative 2. So our vertex, we know, is 1, 9, and we have our two zeros. So if we just go to graph these, okay. We have the point 1, 9. We have negative 2, positive 4. And then connect the dots through. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the next problem. All right, so we'll see you on the next page. All right, so this says identify the transformation of the graph, then sketch it. H of x equals x squared plus 2. So we know a is positive 1, so it opens up. Okay? So now, again, x equals negative b divided by 2 times a. So you get 0. So then plug it in. 0 squared plus 2 is 2, so we have our vertex of 0, 2. Okay, so that also means it's the only 0, but it opens up. So don't worry about finding any other points. Just go over, plot the point 0, 2. And then if you need to find another point, all you got to do is pick a value. So like x is 1. Y equals 1 squared plus 2, so you get 3. So if I go to plot that point now, and then guess what? Negative 1 would be the same. So there's our graph. Okay? So let's look at what else they're asking for. It says the vertex, we got that. The vertex is at 0, 2. The standard vertex is 0, 0. So what was shifted? It went up 2 units. Let's take a look at one more problem, guys. Alright, so it says a child launches a toy rocket from a table. The height y in feet of a rocket is given by y equals negative 1/5 x squared plus 6x plus 3, where x is the horizontal distance in feet from where the rocket is launched. Okay, determine the height from which the rocket is launched. Okay, so the height would be the initial distance, which is 0, so you just plug in 0. So you get y equals 3 feet. So the initial height is 3 feet. Then it says how high is the rocket to the maximum height? Well, find the x-coordinate of the vertex first. So x equals negative b divided by 2 times a. So you get negative 6 over negative 2/5. Multiply by the reciprocal. You get 15 feet. That's how far it traveled. Plug in the 15 into your calculator. So what I mean by that is okay. So you get 48 feet. Okay, and it says how far away does the rocket land from where it is launched? Okay, so now that one is where we go back to setting it equal to 0. So you have 0 equals negative 1/5 x squared plus 6x plus 3. Now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 5 because it's going to get rid of the fraction and it's going to make the a positive. So I get 0 equals x squared plus, or not plus, minus 30x minus 15. There's nothing. So this one can't be factored, so either use your graphing calculator or you can go x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Okay, if you calculate that, you should get x equals 30.49 feet. Okay, we'll see you guys in class.